So my question is, there has been a lot of occurrences in the West for people burning the Quran. And I just want to know that what should be our feelings, and if we have to, because I live in the West. I go back and forth from here, and I do know a lot of people that do not believe in God that could do something like this. So if we're close to someone or we live around people that want to do something like this around us, what should be our reaction?
First of all, it is a heinous act to disrespect any scriptures of religion, because Allah ordered us as Muslims not to insult the idols they worship if that would lead for them to insult Allah Himself. So it is a despicable act to do. Nevertheless, how many copies of the Quran do we have? Millions and hundreds of millions, if not billions. What happens if we have a damaged copy of the Quran? How do we honor it? In order to get rid of it, we either shred it beyond recognition or burn it. So we ourselves consider burning the Quran honoring it. Of course, this disbeliever, this kafir, is doing it to insult the Quran. He's doing it to humiliate the Muslims and provoke them. If you listen to what he's doing and start marches and protests and burning shops and attacking the police force, you're falling into his trap and you're playing his game and you're achieving his objectives. Rather, turn the table in his head. Don't do anything. Just say that this is despicable, this is a heinous act, this is a sign of being primitive and uncivilized. Full stop. Are we angered by it? Definitely. But there's nothing more Islamically you can do. A sister from Sweden asked me today about one of the big masjids in Sweden, and the imam said that we are calling for a protest in front of an embassy in Stockholm or whatever to protest and demonstrate against the burning of the Quran. This is not permissible outside of the masjid, let alone in a khutbah al-Jum'ah addressing the people. This is not permissible. This is un-Islamic. But this is the type of quote-unquote scholars they have in the West who are hand-picked. And this is what they teach. So you can imagine what would be the result. Next week, when they do this demonstration, few hooligans would infiltrate the crowds, killing a police officer, burning a car, destroying property. And who would be blamed? The Muslims. In the parliament, it would backfire and everybody would call, curb the adhan, don't let young women wear the hijab, ban the masjids, don't let them come, it has to be supervised, no teachings of Islam. Because of what? So-called hot-blooded person came, we have to demonstrate, we have to do. Akhi, it's un-Islamic. But they don't know. Ignorant people were made to be representative of Islam, to lead the crowds without knowledge. And this is our problem in the Muslim world. When you go to countries in the subcontinent, without naming names, you find marches in the hundreds of thousands, in the millions, protesting over an apostate, on burning the Quran, on this, on that. MashaAllah, they're so hot-blooded, they love Islam. What happens in the process? The poorest country in the world, though it can be one of the richest with their natural resources, but the corruption in the government, in the parliament, in the ministries, in the businessmen, in the Islamic leaders, They divided the whole nation. Demonstrations, demonstration, oppositions, demonstration, the government authority, demonstration. Go to the street, kill, loot, do whatever you want. We'll justify it, but stay asleep. Don't progress. Don't evolve. Don't become a nation that leads others. Rather be followers of Tom, Dick, and Harry. So this is problematic. Hate it, denounce it, but don't do anything that Islam does not permit, and Allah knows best.